Hi, Earth and Space Kids. So, I've got a couple of short things to talk about, and then I'm going to turn you loose on some project work this week. First thing is, I want to go over that timeline that I had you all making last week because I think that there were some misconceptions about how that was supposed to work. So, I want to talk about that, and then I want to take you through the directions for what you're going to be doing this week. So, let's go to the timeline. Is the timeline that I shared with you. Those of you that were looking at this to do your work from last week have probably seen this version before, but it has all of the events that we talked about filled in already. So it's time to think about our evidence. Now, I think that some of you were misled by a coincidence. You saw, okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of evidence, and there are 6 spots on the timeline. So clearly, there must be one piece of evidence for every spot on the timeline. And that wasn't correct, and I tried to make that clear in the directions that there were going to be spots where there was more than one piece of evidence, and there were going to be pieces of evidence that got used in more than one spot. So let's go through that. And let's start with Hubble's law. Remember that Hubble's law tells us that everything in the universe is moving away from everything else in the universe, which means that the universe is expanding. So I'm going to take a look at my pieces of evidence, and I see 2 spots that talk about expansion. I see one here, and I see one here. And you would have written a sentence to tell me why that piece of evidence fits there. If you had at least one of those spots, I probably told you that you were good to go. All right, second piece of evidence was the cosmic background radiation. And remember, our big takeaway from the cosmic background radiation was that at one point the universe was very hot, and over time it has cooled down. So anytime that I'm talking about temperature, cosmic background radiation is going to be a major piece of evidence. So that means it goes here, and it goes here, and it goes here. All right, onward and upward. We talked about quasars. And quasars were important because they give us a picture of early galaxies. So I'm scanning across, I'm looking for galaxies. Right about here is where it would make sense to put in quasars, especially considering that this is still within the first billion years or so of the universe existing. So that's well within the time frame where we see light from quasars that is now reaching our solar system. All right, speed of light. Let's talk about that one. Well, anything that relies on us seeing light and estimating distance is probably going to have speed of light as evidence. So that means it could have gone here, and it could have gone here. All right, moving right along. How about radiometric dating and radioactive decay? That is only useful for telling the ages of things that we can get physical samples from, which means it's really only helpful for knowing the age of things within our solar system. So radioactive decay belongs right there. All right. What am I missing? Because I know I'm missing one of them. Oh, stellar evolution. So, for a stellar evolution and life cycles of stars, well, there have to be stars around for that to make sense as a piece of evidence. So, that probably fits here and here. So, if you had one piece of evidence that made sense in each one of these spots along the bottom, even if you didn't fit every piece of evidence into all of the places that it could have been, I probably let you keep moving. I probably said you were good to go. If you didn't, one of the things that you can do this week, this document is available to you on Neo, this version that has the names of the evidence plugged into it. You can make a copy of this document and write into each of these boxes what we know about the universe because of this law or this concept or this big idea. So if you didn't get the timeline complete to a standard that is acceptable to you, this is available for you to work on. But we're also going to be doing something new this week. I thought y'all might be a little sick of looking at that timeline, but I want to really shore up your understanding of these pieces of evidence that I didn't go into in as much detail before we move on to talking about the history of Earth and our solar system. So, you are going to do a little choice project this week. Let's go through what I'm going to be expecting from you. Here is the document that you're going to be working in. So, you have a document that looks a lot like this on Neo, and you're going to make a copy of this, and you're going to be doing the bulk of your work for this week on this document. So, the first thing you're going to do, we started with 6 pieces of evidence, and I gave you a lot of detail about Hubble's law because Hubble's law, there's a lot to talk about. And we've already really covered the life cycles of stars pretty thoroughly. So I took that one off the list too, which leaves you with 4 that you can choose from to talk about. Now, I want to show you something neat that I did here. Once you have picked which topic you want to learn about, so say you want to focus on radioactive decay, take a look at this menu right here that says styles. Each of the different topics I've set as a different style in here. So if I select radioactive decay and highlight it, and then update this style to match, it will quickly point out for you all of the spots that are related to your topic in the document so that you can very easily find what you need to do. So the directions to do that are right in your document in case you forget about them. The first thing you're going to do this week once you've picked a topic is you are going to do a little bit of additional learning. I have created a short, less than 3-minute video that explains a little more detail about the topic that you pick. And these spots are all going to have links to articles on Actively Learn for you to read. I don't have those links in yet because I have to wait and share them to your classes before I put the article links in. There is a nice big empty space down here where you are going to take some notes while you watch your video and read your article. Then I have some videos, some podcasts. The list that you're seeing on your screen now may not be the full list because I've been adding to this as we go along. So you are going to choose one more option to learn a little more information about your chosen topic. And you are going to take some notes. Then I'm giving you a space to organize your thoughts and prepare to make something with the information that you've learned. Because what you are going to do is you are going to make something cool to communicate what you learned to your classmates. I've put in a variety of my preferred options for what you could do. There is a template, looks a little bit like that you can make a copy of if the creative side isn't really your thing and you just want to get the information in there and get it done. I personally used Adobe Spark to make a video, which looks a little bit like this, that you can go in and view to show you what I'm going to be looking for. So here are my expectations. Whatever you make, it can be a video, it can be a Google drawing, it can be a brochure, it can be a digital poster, it can be an actual poster that you take a picture of. Whatever you want to make is great, but it's got to do three things. It has to explain what the thing that you chose is in a simple, easy to understand format. It has to explain how the thing you chose connects to the Big Bang Theory and the formation of the universe. And it has to give at least one new piece of information that your classmates would not have learned from watching my video lesson last week. Once you're done with that, you are going to turn in this document and you are going to make some comments on your peers' documents. So there will be 2 assignments on NEO, and I am going to add in the words turning your final product here to the second assignment because I realized that I forgot those words. Okay, so you've got your work for the week. If you have questions or you're confused about what you need to do, you know how to find me. I am happy to talk to you, email with you, chat with you, whatever you need. Be good, be safe, be kind, don't do anything I wouldn't do, wash your hands, and have fun. Make something pretty. It's been a while since we've made something pretty, so make something pretty.